Hey guys, wow, I'm about a minute late here. I just got a call from somebody from New Jersey that had a question. I'll call her back. She understood. I'm getting ready to go live. Man, what a day. It's Saturday, January 16th, 2021. And thank you for joining me live. What I would love to do is have you put in the chat right there who you are. I'm going to put that in there myself, who you are and where you're from. It just helps me. Some of you, I might recognize your name. And if you're new, I would love to meet you as well. I don't do a lot of live stuff, but Jeffrey Gittimer, the sales trainer from Charlotte, has been going live many days now. He's right here in town. He's very well known around the world. And so I'm doing live a little bit more. But I got something on my heart today about the right way to buy a new home. I want to talk about that. It's really very important because it hits right to where you live. So this is kind of the warm up in the room. Hopefully you'll let me know who you are. I've got a few people in the room right now. Alonzo, hello, sir. I was glad to see those pictures of your house being framed today. That was very exciting. I know that was exciting for you. This is a couple that's been working with us for a while, and Rodney Jones got them to contract, and now we're working with them. And the sales agent reached out and said, hey, your house is being framed. I know that's exciting. You know, I'm doing that new series called Building from the Ground Up, and we're documenting the house process. And if you're thinking about building a new house, that could be a good series for you. Wow, guys, I got a lot of stuff on my mind today. Number one, I want to talk about the right way to buy a new house. And if you have any questions for me, I can see the chat right here. I would love to answer your questions. You know, on my videos, I don't allow comments for the 99% of the time, because that's just, I don't know. I ain't got time for all that. Today, Jack and I went up to Huntersville to see a couple that had seen me on YouTube. I connected them with Rodney, and I wanted to shoot a YouTube video testimony for them. I should post that in the next day or so. What was cool was Jack and I were walking down that street. Alonzo, yeah, very exciting. We're packing. That's good. And Jack and I were walking down that street in their neighborhood to give you an update. But you know, Rodney Jones was in that same neighborhood today. So here we got somebody from Poughkeepsie. Anthony, thank you for joining me. I don't recognize your name, but I have been to Poughkeepsie many, many years ago. And a lot of memories there. It's a beautiful area. So where was I? Rodney was up in that same neighborhood today for another client. And here's the good, the dirty little secret. The builders are starting to tighten up. And here's what they're tightening up about: procuring costs. Well, what does that mean? Who is the one that got you to come into contact with that builder? Maybe you went into the model home. Maybe you called the online concierge. But the builders are all about maximizing their numbers, and we are all about representing you. That's all we care about. We care about your best interests. They care about their best interests. And it's not an adversarial relationship, because they know that, a high percentage of their sales come for buyers that have real estate agents. But some of you have been a little reluctant to come out and to say, yeah, I want an agent. I have an agent. You know, everybody's doing their own online research. Here's what I'll tell you: a risk-free way to do it right. How to buy, what's the right way to buy a new home? Give them a name. If you happen to reach out to them, or one of your relatives happens to reach out to them before we get involved, just tell them Rodney Jones from ProStead Realty, or Denise O'Farrell from ProStead Realty. If you want a veteran, Donnie Morrison from ProStead Realty, or Chris Nordyke from ProStead Realty. If you're bilingual and you want someone who can speak Spanish, he's from Costa Rica. Marlon Rodriguez from ProStead Realty. Let them know that you found them on my YouTube channel, but give them the name of an agent. And here's why that really, really matters. And I'm on a tear today, guys. I'm really frustrated about this. One of the major national production builders tightened up on this some months ago. And we had somebody, I'm going to take my time today, because I don't always take my time, because I'm thinking I need 10 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever. But today it's Saturday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just going to take my time. And we got somebody here. Does Pulte build in Mint Hill or Dallas, NC? We've watched most of your YouTube programs. 2,200. Okay, good. Nikki, thank you. But don't see much in those areas. I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey. Last time I was there, I ate at Grimaldi's Pizza right by the bridge. So do they build in Mint Hill? Don't close to Mint Hill in Stallings. There's a neighborhood called Southstone. If you go into my YouTube video channel and you go in the search bar, there's a little search icon, along the navigation bar. In the search icon, if you just type in Southstone, one word, that's very close to Mint Hill or Dallas. Well, Dallas, NC is close to Denver, NC. Those are two other states, right? Denver, Colorado, Dallas, right? Fort Worth, Texas. But we have a Dallas and a Denver very close to each other on the northwest side. And so, yummy pizza, not all, but a lot. Yeah. So long story short, I don't, in the top of my head, think about them being up in Dallas, but there's a lot of development up that way, Dallas and Denver. So if I could connect you with one of my agents, Nikki, they would do a lot of research for you and find out exactly what you want, what you need, and connect you on that. So guys, we're back to procuring costs. Here's my frustration. The North Carolina Real Estate Commission requires agents to give you this brochure on the first substantial contact. It explains about working with real estate agents. But guess what? They don't do that. They don't do it. They do it at contract. That's not what the Real Estate Commission says to do. And what this brochure does, we explain it to you up front, that there's a seller's agent and there's a buyer's agent. And when you go into a model home, that is the seller's agent. They don't represent you. They represent the seller or the builder. Whereas we would want to represent your best interest as the buyer's agent. But they don't explain that. They don't go over this brochure with you like they should. And that's, they can do whatever they do. We do what we do. We do it right. And what we do is a consumer, really it's consumer awareness, that when you walk into a model home, the seller is totally protected, but you are completely unprotected. And so the thing about that is, if you walk in and say, I'm working with Rodney Jones from ProStead Realty, or Denise O'Farrell from ProStead Realty, or Donnie Morrison from ProStead Realty, now you're protected. And why is that? And by the way, if you do that, you need to give me or one of those agents a call right away and say, hey, I put your name down at such and such subdivision, because we need to get back in touch with that agent. But here's what I'm telling you. If you don't say that, or if you say, I'm not working with an agent, we had a situation just today where Rodney Jones was out working on behalf of somebody that called me. And their initial take was, I don't know if I need a buyer's agent. Okay, well, if you want one, we're happy to help you. There's no extra cost to you for us to help you, but you need to let the builder know on first contact that so-and-so is my agent. Now, don't put my name down. I'm the team leader. I've got a handful of agents that are doing great work. Rodney, Denise, Donnie, Marlon, Joe, Chris, etc. They're doing great work. And if you call me first, I'm able to connect you with who I think would be a best fit for you. But even if you put down any of their names down there, because you don't have a contract with us, you're not obligated. We'd love to do that and see you to the fulfillment. And here's what we typically say, guys. Hey, let's spend a first day together. And at the end of the day, that's our gift to you. If you like us, let's shake hands and work together. If you're not sure about us, I'm going to call Roger and see if I can get another agent. And that almost never happens, because these folks, guys, you will love, if you like me, you'll love Rodney Jones. There's no doubt about that. Denise O'Farrell, she's cut from the same cloth. Chris Nordyke, all these guys, these are fabulous agents. So here's what I'll tell you. What is the procuring cause? Well, it might be me, because many of you have found my YouTube videos and said, wow, I'm zeroing in on certain neighborhoods. And then you reach out to the builder, and then you tell them you don't have an agent. Wait a minute. Yeah, you want to protect yourself. Here's a story that Rodney was working on today. We had somebody that said, yeah, I don't think I want an agent. I don't know. I think I can do it myself. And Rodney's answer always is, let me grab this little tool here. Have you ever seen one of these? I use these tools to pull out micro SD cards out of my GoPro. Micro SD cards like this. That's how I use this tool, right? That's a micro SD card out of my GoPro. But guess what? Rodney says, yeah, I could pull my own teeth, but I'd rather have a professional. That is hilarious because there are so many moving parts. And that's what this client said to him today. I realize there now that I tried it on my own, there are so many moving parts. But guess what? The builder says, oh, no, you came in. Oh, no, you already registered. Oh, no, you contacted us without a buyer's agent. So they're not the procuring cause. Really? Come on now, builders. So I'm mad. Like James Brown said, what song was that? Was it Get Up Off of That Thing? No, was it, I don't know, but he said, I'm mad. Anyway. So first contact with the builder, make sure you give them a name of an agent. And again, they're not doing this, but we are. This is required, but they're not doing it. So they're in violation, which means, hey, what are their motives? What are their blah, blah, blah. So we had a really great story last week where I'm taking my time right now. Usually I just sort of like 10 minutes, I'm gone. But right now I'm like, okay, I'm going after it. And if you don't mind checking in, there got a few of you that haven't said hello. But we had one last week where this client and I had been in touch. I got him in touch with Rodney. Rodney and I went out and shot a video of a lot or two that they could be interested in a particular neighborhood. Well, that was good. That didn't quite work out, but Rodney's working with them over the period. Rodney is so great. What a great agent he is. And finally, just last week, a new home that had been under contract. Again, guys, you've got to understand what you're dealing with down here. We're on a lottery basis. Some of these neighborhoods are saying, we're going to have a lottery on Saturday for our lots. We're releasing 3. The first 3 get it. Wow, that's different dynamic, right? So this couple had been looking at this neighborhood. Rodney happened to know by his relationship with the sales agent that such and such house was going to come back on the market. Well, I looked it up and it wasn't even on the MLS. So what's up with that? It's not on the MLS. It's not for sale. But Rodney Jones happened to know that it was going to be available in a day or two. So he reached out to his people and asked me to go out and shoot a video of the house. So they knew the neighborhood, but they hadn't seen that exact house. I went out and shot that house for them. I shot that exact house, and they watched it 36 times that night. That evening, 36 times. Rodney told them how to structure an offer that would beat the bidding war. Why? Because not just resale now is in bidding wars, but even some of the new construction stuff, lots on a lottery system, bidding wars. Are you kidding me? Do you need a buyer's agent? Are there a lot of moving parts? Oh yeah, baby. And so Rodney, because they saw that video, was able either that night or the next morning, able to construct an offer where they prevailed in the bidding war and they got the house. I shot the video so they could see it. They never came to town. Rodney Jones constructed an offer that worked because he's brilliant, and that worked. Denise O'Farrell can do it. Chris Nordyke can do it. Donnie Morrison. So all these guys and gals are available to do it. But again, that's what you need to know. So guys, what else? Here's what I want to tell you why some of the agents, the builders are kind of getting weird and anal this way. I can understand it from a business perspective, because let's say John Doe decides to buy a house. He goes to the builder, picks it out, decides to go on contract. He's getting ready to go to contract tomorrow. And he goes on Facebook and tells his friends, family, I'm getting ready to buy a house tomorrow. Well, his distant cousin, who just got her license 2 weeks ago, says, oh, ding, ding, ding. I'm an agent. I want to be on your deal. So can I hop on your deal? Well, the builder understandably doesn't want the 2-week-old agent to get on that deal. They had nothing to do with it. All right. I can understand that, why they're establishing these type of policies. However, I'm a full-time guy. Rodney Jones, Denise, we're all full-time people. I spend my days shooting videos, 1 or 2 a day, posting them. So guess what? I'm probably the procuring cause for a lot of these. And we're not trying to hop on a deal, but let's face it, we all like to do our research. We're out there doing research. And by the way, if you have a question, you want to put it in the chat. I'm looking at the chat, but I heard from Nikki and Anthony and Alonzo. I haven't heard from anybody else. If you want to ask me a question or give me a shout out, I'd be glad to acknowledge you in the shout out in the chat. So here's what I'll tell you. We do it full time. I go out every day and I shoot videos or in my studio so that you can understand the Charlotte market, because it's a big deal, people. A lot of you are shy about calling me. Okay. But we're all about your best interests. So if you call me and I connect you with Rodney Jones and you haven't signed a buyer's agency agreement, what's the downside of that, right? But if he comes with you and he spends a day with you and you really like him, oh yeah, that's an upside. And if in the meantime you're telling people Rodney Jones from ProStead Realty is my agent, oh yeah, that's good for you. That's good for you. And here's what happens. We had a heartbreak today where one of the major builders who's starting to tighten up said, oh no, we can't honor this person because he wasn't here at the first. So here's the real bottom line of all this. I'm going to sign off here in a few minutes. You need to put down a name and a company. ProStead Realty is our company. All my agents are tied in with ProStead. We all work for that banner. You need to either write down Rodney Jones, ProStead, Denise O'Farrell, ProStead, Donnie Morrison, veteran, ProStead, Joe Top, ProStead, Chris Nordyke, ProStead. You need to put their name down and then let me know. Because if in fact you haven't done that, I'll tell you one of the great stories about that. I had an American Airlines pilot a couple of years ago. He called me one day and he said, I just put down some money on a lot with Toll Brothers. And I told him you were my agent. I'd never met this guy. I told him you were my agent and I wanted you to represent me. Well, guess what? By doing that, he allowed me to represent them. Now, I'm shooting videos and hanging out with Jack, but I've got a handful of agents that are great. So give me a call, 704-345-3400. Looks like Mike is coming in here. Our new home builds or quick move generally sold for the asking price. Never purchased a new build before. Mike, you're the exact right guy I'm trying to reach. Again, you may not have heard this story from earlier in this session, but there was a guy just within the last couple of days that said, hey, I don't know if I want a buyer's agent. He went out and started to work on it. And he came back and said, you know what? There are so many moving parts that I know that I need some help. And as Rodney Jones says, wait a minute, let me grab my dental tool. Rodney Jones says, yes, I can pull my own teeth, but I'd rather have a professional. Having said all that, this guy did not tell them up front, or his family did not tell him up front that he wanted a buyer's agent. So we're working on that. But when you ask, are they generally sold for the asking price because you never purchased a new build before? It depends. It depends. There are a lot of moving parts. One is the time of the month, the time of the year, the builder's fiscal calendar. How long has this been on the market? Has this been standing inventory? There are a lot of variables, but we know how to ask the right questions. We know how to negotiate for the best possible scenario because we've done it before. Both Rodney and I have been on the model home side and sold for the builder. But yet even Denise and Donnie, we all know how to do it. And there's no extra cost to you, Mike. They're not going to charge you anymore. The key is that when you call them or reach out, that you say, I have a buyer's agent from ProStead Realty. It's either this person, or this person. That's critical. Better yet, just call me. Tell me your story. I'd love to hear it so I can connect you with who I think could be the best fit for you. But in the meantime, there are ways to buy the house, and that's what the name of this video is. How to buy a new home the right way. How to buy a new home the right way. And we have some skills because we've, like Farmers Insurance, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. And so let us reach you and help you. My cell number 704-345-3400. Make sure they know at the first contact that you have a buyer's agent and give them a name, one of my team. And one of the beautiful things about that is, like today, I met a couple today that I shot a video for that they hadn't seen it, but I went and shot the neighborhood so they could make a good decision. You see a house you want? You got me to go out and shoot a video for you to help you make a good decision. You've got Rodney, Denise, Donnie, Chris, Marlon, etc., to go out and help you. So I can't wait to talk to you soon and hear your story, and I'll see you in the next video.